Hi, it's Steve, and normally I wouldn't do this kind of video, but given the current situation with the coronavirus and everybody buying guns, and the fact that my own son, who's in his 30s, he's not much of a shooter. I mean, it's been like 7 or 8 years since he's gone shooting with me. Needed to borrow a couple guns, so I thought I'd do a video for people who just don't know much about guns, handguns, right now. Hopefully, if they're first-time buyers, they are getting on the internet and they are trying to find out as much information as they can, good information. So maybe this will help, maybe it won't, I don't know for sure. Now, I only have autoloaders. I have no revolvers in my inventory right now, and I may never again. But we're going to go through a few basic types of guns that I do have that hopefully will cover the basics of things. Now, the first thing, if you buy a gun, you should familiarize yourself with this gun. Now, this is my witness. Now, you always want to make sure it's unloaded. So, magazine's unloaded, slide locked. Where are we at there? There we go. See? Empty. Okay. Now, I'm going to lower the slide again. Magazine's out. Hammer's down. Now, this gun is basically safe at this point. You can shoot it, no big deal. Now, the reason I chose this gun is because this particular, even though it's a double action, single action, this safety can be locked on with the hammer down, and it actually keeps the hammer from operating. Or the hammer can be cocked back, and again, will keep it from operating. So, I don't want to say there's a lot of guns that are like this. There's some guns. This is based on the CZ75 design, and this is what this particular gun does. So as you can see, it but also the safety can be put on with the hammer down, which makes it inoperable. Now, of course, with the safety off, hammer down, you can double action it, okay, or single action it. Okay, so this is just one type of gun. So familiarize yourself with this, trigger pull, things like that, sights, of course. So with this one, it's, I don't want to say it's unique, but it's kind of different. Because my next gun is going to be my 1911. I'm going to shoot a magazine. Let me get that into the camera there. Magazine is out, chamber's empty, so I'm going to lower the slide. Let me go over here. So the safety is on, so it cannot fire. Now this has a grip safety too, so I'm going to hold a grip safety with my left hand like there. Cannot fire. Now I'm going to lower. Safety's on. Safety. Now with the hammer down, the safety cannot engage on this one. You cannot do it. It won't let you. So that's why this one is different than that one, the double action, single action. Again, almost, I don't know any 1911s that will let you put the safety on with the hammer down. There may be some out there that are designed that way. I don't know positively. But again, it can't be done unless the hammer's cocked back. That's condition 1, by the way, if the chamber was loaded. Condition 2, and then if the chamber is empty, it would be condition 3. Okay, another type of gun. Now this is my CZP09. Now normally I have the safety on this one. I did change it back to the decocker because I wanted to show a decocker. Now this one is kind of like the 1911, kind of, but it's also kind of like the Witness. So it's empty, of course. Anyway, with the safety off, well, this one is now decocker. It's a double action, but it is also a single action. Now with the safety in place, which this is the decocker, but I normally carry with the safety on, the safety will only engage when the hammer's back. But now this one has a decocker. Well, what's the decocker? Well, and this is ambidextrous. I don't know if you can actually see that. There's actually one on each side, they're connected. Is if it's cocked back, as in if you put a magazine in, armed it, you can push down on this, and it lowers the hammer for you. So like a half cocked position. Notice it doesn't go all the way down. That is the all the way down. Whoop, there it is. That's the all the way down. So again, this, and there's a lot of guns that do have decockers. And whichever guns you buy, I'm hoping to cover the basics of almost everything that might be out there. At least in semi-autos. Okay. So the next gun I want to show you. This is the XDS by Springfield. Now this is a striker fired gun. Now this one has no manual safeties. What do I mean by manual safety? Well, a safety that you have to manually activate one way or the other. Okay. But this does have what are called passive safeties. It has the trigger safety, which is in here. It has a grip safety, much like the 1911. And then there's a firing pin, or in this case it's actually a striker, but we can go either direction. They're called both firing pin, striker, block. That means something is blocking its path going towards the bullet until the trigger is pulled tight enough, it moves that object out of the way. Okay, so now this one, again, as you can see, empty and loaded. These are very common for striker fires. There's a lot of them out there, the Glocks, SIG 365. There's more than I even know about. These are really good for novice shooters because it's kind of arm and forget. It's not designed to have the hammer lowered. It's not designed to have a manual safety put on, so it's very simple. But they're fairly safe because if you don't got in this case, the Springfield has a grip safety. It can't go off until you do that. Now, I don't even want to say it's a downside to this. Most striker fire guns, in fact, all of them that I know of, and again, there may be some out there I don't know about, is what's called a single strike capability. Now, what do we mean by that? Now, you saw me how to cock it back there. Now I'm going to put my hand there so that the grip safety is engaged, and I'm going to pop the trigger again. Hear it? Now, you can't do it no more. So you only get one chance. So to re-engage the trigger in the firing pin, the slide has to come back slightly to re-engage it. Notice how the trigger popped out there a little bit. So let's see if I can get that. Watch that trigger. See that trigger popped out? Now, what's the difference with that? Well, again, on a double action, here, you have multiple strike capabilities. Like that. Some people feel that if you have a bad primer, that's the part of the bullet that goes off, you can pull the trigger a second time, quickly, and see if you can get it to go off. I've never actually had that trouble. Maybe it happens, I'm sure it does, because people do see it, but modern ammunition, I don't think is a problem with that. But I just wanted you to be aware of that, to familiarize yourself with that concept. Now my last little gun, this is the Ruger LCP, and this is, you can see it is unloaded. It's a small gun, but now where this ain't a true striker fire, because it does have a little hammer back here, you still only get one shot. You can't pull it again until the slide re-engages that hammer. Much similar to the striker fire. So, now also with this particular gun, because it is so small, the magazine, which is here, unloaded of course, I'm going to insert it, does not lock open on the last round. As you can see, magazine for my witness, unloaded, insert it, will lock open. Again, that's what I'm trying to say. Whatever firearm you have, make sure it's completely unloaded by removing the magazine, getting the slide open, verifying there's no ammo in the chamber, which is the little part that's into the barrel, down in the magazine well, make sure you can see through it. and make sure it's safe so you can familiarize yourself with it. Now, I'm not going to go through breakdown procedures here for training because it's just not that important. But what I do want to go on, this is a snap cap. For most shooters, we know what these are. This is a solid aluminum piece that resembles a .40 caliber, but it has a little rubber piece for the primer would be. So I'm going to load it into the magazine. Hammer down. Now I'm gonna pop this in there. Now the reason you always remove your magazine first before you pull your slide open is because if you pull your slide open, oh, it's empty. Well, you just loaded a round into the gun. That's why always remove the magazine first when checking if the firearm is cleared or not. Very important. Okay, I don't want to go rambling on about this. Hopefully this might help somebody. I don't know. We'll see. Just be careful out there, be safe. Apparently there's a lot of new gun owners out there throughout America because they're a little worried about the virus and everything that's happening. And I welcome all new gun owners, but we want you to be safe. We want you to be, you're safe, your family's safe, friends safe, neighbors safe. And to be safe, you got to have knowledge. Knowledge is very important. So all right, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, I'll try to get back to them as soon as possible. Thanks.